see if we can keep this alight in a nice spot. So this is a 34-week pregnancy update. 34 weeks pregnant, baby number 5. Excuse me. I'm going to read my book first and then talk because a lot has happened in the last week. I feel like I have a lot to say. What's going on? From now on, your baby will hog all available space and squash up anything silly enough to get in the way, like your lungs. If you do get breathless, sitting or standing up straight will help, so will taking it easy. If you're interested in going to childbirth classes but haven't organized this yet, you'd better make that phone call now. Lay in the layette. Baby's clothes. It has in brackets. I suppose it means put baby's clothes into the drawers and get them all ready. Your body is starting to put the final touches to the baby. It's the finishing school stage. From now on, your bub is pretty busy practicing sucking, breathing, blinking, turning the head, grabbing things such as its other hand or the umbilical cord, and stretching out the legs. But there's not quite enough room to actually do that, hence the jarring kicks you may feel. The baby's skin is becoming smoother and less translucent, more like the final skin color. Weight about 2.1 kgs, and the average approximate baby length this week from head to bum is 30 centimeters, which is like one of those rulers, standard length of a ruler. So this week, I have been getting out of breath a lot. I've been running out of energy in the evenings. I feel like I'm further along than what I am. And we did wonder if I got my dates mixed up and I was a month more along than I think. But when I say we, I mean me and Jason. But thinking about it more, I don't think I can, because I was taking pregnancy tests right at the start and they didn't show up. Like, it was too early for it to show up because I had to go for the smear thing where they took a chunk out of my cervix. So I was taking tests like every day. So I don't think, and like all my scans and measurements and stuff from the midwife has all been spot on, so I don't think so. But I do feel further along. It also got me thinking, when I got the chunk of my cervix taken out, I asked about having children in the future, and he said that doesn't affect conceiving or anything like that. The only effect they've found after having this coloscopy is that you go into labor, expect to go into labor 2 to 3 weeks early. So I had a thought last night, does that mean early as in 2 to 3 weeks before 40 weeks, or does it mean 2 to 3 weeks before 37 weeks? Because at 37 weeks, the class is full term, right? So if you go into labor at 37 weeks, you're not classed as going early. You're only early before 37 weeks. So was he saying to expect to go into labor 37, 38 weeks, or is he saying expect to go into labor 35, 36 weeks? So I don't know. I've been having pains this week. Like, I know Braxton Hicks is a common thing to have around about now, but Braxton Hicks is supposed to be tightening of the uterus that you feel without any pain, whereas mine's the opposite. It's like, it feels like I'm having a contraction. It's the pains of a contraction, but I don't feel like my uterus is tightening. So I don't know if these are practice pains. I did read ahead a little bit, and it said about 37 weeks, about having pains that feel like a stitch. This feels more like a period pain, like it feels like a contraction. I know what a contraction feels like, and I'll kind of count, and it'll last anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And I've been having these very sporadically for the last 5 or 6 days. The heartburn is ridiculous. It's insane. A lot of the time I fluctuate between the heartburn or just feeling nauseous. Last night was quite horrible. I was woken up about 1 o'clock from by my 2-year-old, and so I came in here and settled her until she went back to sleep, and then I went and sat on the toilet, and I had like a wicked case of diarrhea, and so I was sitting there because I was on the toilet for a good 15 minutes, and I just kept, it wasn't constant, but it was every few minutes I just needed to flush out my system. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it's something I ate yesterday or didn't wash my hands properly or something like that, but it had me in mind of how your body flushes itself out right before you go into labor or in the early stages of labor. So I had that at the back of my mind. So then when I got back into bed, so woke up at about 1 o'clock, settled baby. I was probably in here for about half an hour, and then on the toilet for another 15 to 20 minutes. So it was close to 2 by the time I got back into bed. And then I normally sleep with no top on and just a single blanket, but I had put on a dressing gown, the normal blanket, and another blanket, and I was still cold. And like, I don't know, I wanted to sleep, but at the same time I was awake, like trying to just lay there and try to listen to my body to see if it was starting, if there was any signs of early labor or not. So I had that going on, and I finally fell back asleep, and then I woke up again about 3 o'clock and had to go back to the toilet and do it all again. And then this morning, and when I was lying in bed, I would have the random pain. So I was holding my stomach with one hand, trying to see if I could feel any tightening, wondering if I was going into labor or not. I feel like I kind of need to hang out for another 2 weeks to 36 weeks, because your class is full term at 37. And so the birthing centres won't accept you before 37 weeks, and you're supposed to go to the hospital. But I feel like if I got to 36 weeks, I could kind of get away with staying home, especially if it was 36 and a half or something like that. I could get away with staying at home and not endangering the baby. Like I say, he feels big, nice and big and heavy and low, and it's baby number 5. I feel like I know what I'm doing, and if it happened right now, which I'd be fine with, I think it'd be fine, but I'd have to go to the hospital. Whereas if I can hold out another 2 to 2.5 weeks, I think it'd be pretty safe to stay home and make a call after baby's born, whether I would have to go anywhere or something. But I think we'd be fine to just stay home. So yeah, I've been feeling kind of anxious, kind of excited, kind of just weary, because like I'm quite happy for him to come now. Like I say, I feel like I'm further along, but at the same time, you just want to hold out that little bit longer to make sure that everything's done and he's done all his finishing touches. The only other thing is I was leaking from one breast the other night, about 3 nights ago. So that was quite interesting, exciting. That's again something that says at 37 weeks and I'm 34, so I feel like I'm about 3 weeks ahead. Do you know what I mean? Everything's happening about 3 weeks ahead of time. Anyway, that's all the info. I felt like that was a lot, but I managed to get it in a short amount of time, and I'm going to wrap this up before we hit 10 minutes, and I'll probably look at uploading it tomorrow because I get a free gig from now on weekdays. So if I'm under 10 minutes, it should only be a gig to upload it. So I'm going to say bye now before I run out of time, and you'll see me again next week if we don't have a baby, or if we do. Bye.